Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview. Mark, and today we're taking a look at Ninja Sloths, which is brought to you by Boss Dog Games. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 7 and up, and games generally run about 20 minutes. Deep in the heart of the Amazon lives a legendary squad of Ninja Sloths. For centuries, their job has been to protect the forbidden gems. These sacred gems grow deep beneath the Zamsha tree, providing strength and life to all creatures of the rainforest. But there is an evil that also seeks out the power of the gems, for they can turn the average into extraordinary. Don't let their slow and relaxed appearance fool you. The Ninja Sloths have been skillfully trained in the art of speed and stealth, and have vowed to protect the gems at all costs. Build your ninja squad and defeat the guards by stealing the most gems. When all the gems are stolen, the game ends, and the person or sloth with the most gems wins. Can you lead your Ninja Sloths to victory by avoiding the guards, heisting the gems, and sabotaging your friends? Join me and let's find out. So you're gonna have to put together the best sloth team in order to take gems. Now, what's interesting is that gems will be placed inside the box, and it's varied, the number is varied, I should say, based on the player count. And you have the guards, which live on top of the box. These are what you're gonna have to defeat in order to gather gems. Now, there's action cards in this game as well. They're going to allow you to steal gems and do various things, but for the basics, you're going to get your basic sloth that is going to be kind of a permanent sloth for you. The others are going to cycle through as you defeat guards and gather gems. Your basic sloth has a lock symbol on it, so it really is the only sloth you're going to have that's going to allow you some defense against some of these action cards that can mess with your team. There's 2 other types. You've got your main type of Ninja Sloth, and you're going to be using those, the bulk of those for sure. And then you have Sensei Sloths, which those are straight up the most powerful. This team you're going to be assembling can be a sloth team of 3, and you're going to be calculating points on the cards versus the points on the guard. And if you meet or beat the guard, you're going to be able to open the chest and gather a gem. Gems will be stored in the chest, but you will also not only have a team of 3 sloths, you can place cards below the sloths that are weapons and gear that allow you to augment your attack abilities. So once you do defeat a guard, that guard that is on top will go to the bottom of the deck and a new one will be revealed. And all the different guards have various levels of strength. So you'll need to be very mindful of that as you go and attack them, but then you'll open the box and gather the gem, placing the new guard on top. Now the thing here is that your team that you created for that particular guard is basically going to get discarded, except with the exception of your basic sloth. That one is key and really kind of yours to hold on to through the course of the game. But the others are going to get discarded along with gear and put into the discard pile, and you'll have to start from scratch basically. And through the course of the game, if you've replaced your basic sloth, then you're going to start off with a 0 level team. At least with the basic, you're going to start with a team of 1. And you can put weapons that are fairly guarded as well if they're attached to your specific basic sloth. So that's the basics of what you're doing. You're going to be trying to put together your team, defeating guards, and gathering gems. Now, obviously, there's lots of other things going on in the game because as you're creating your team, you're going to be drawing cards, you're going to be replacing cards, looking for gear, creating, some synergy with your team to have the most points to go after those guards. But on your turn, it's super straightforward. This is one of those games that's super easy to learn. Like within 2 minutes, you could learn to play this game because all the action cards have all the text on them and you know what you're doing. So basically, you're drawing a card and playing a card. And playing a card just means that you can replace a sloth in your team. You can add a sloth if you have less than 3. You can add gear to your team, any sloth that you choose. And again, you have that limit of 3. So you gotta be mindful of as you're placing gear and making tough choices about which gear you wanna use. But of course, other players have action cards that can hinder your progress in creating your team or even stealing gems from you. And like you'd expect, there are action cards that allow you to block a lot of this. There's a hypnosis card that blocks most things. Not everything, but it will block most things. So these cards are going to really come into play, all the different actions you have available to you. And some can be played out of turn. Some are just straight up, trying to slow down your opponent. You have some really interesting choices, especially as someone defeats a guard and grabs a gem. You could hijack the gem along the way. So just a quick look at some of the action cards. We have the Sideswipe, which I said you can steal gems when someone defeats a guard. You have Ninja in Training, which shuts down a player's gear or weapons that they put on their squad. You've got the Ninja Nap, which is simply a skipping of their turn. And you have the Squad Demotion, which basically allows them to only have 2 sloths in their team until that card is dealt with. And then you have New Gear. You can discard 2 cards and this card to get another couple cards, hoping you're looking for and finding gear that you really need. Now, there's also Ninja Hypnosis. We talked about it is the cancel card. It'll cancel most of the actions being played, and you can play it out of turn, and you can also play it against another player that isn't affecting you in any way. So it is a handy card for sure, and you know, holding on to these for a crucial time is key, but you can ever only have 8 cards in your hand. Now, you also have the Sumo Sloth, which basically just sits on a ninja or sloth on your team, stopping them from being used. And you have the Gem Heist, which just grabs gems. You also have the Sloth Swiper. You can steal sloths from other players. And you've got the Ninja Strike. Now this one is key. This is the one that you cannot shut down with the Hypnosis. This one will defuse the Sumo Sloth. It'll take care of the Ninja Nap, and it'll take care of the Squad Demotion. So this card is very crucial for shutting down those cards when they're played on you, for sure. So as I said, you can only have 8 cards in your hand, so you got to make some interesting choices. And as you can tell, there is a lot of take that in this game. And then finally, at the end, it's just who has the most gems. When the last gem is taken, you total up the score, and whoever has the most gems will be the ultimate ninja squad. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, I love the artwork in this game. Super whimsical. The Ninja Sloths, I love putting together the team and finding the different gear, lots of different weapons that you can add to your team, and different point values and so forth. But this box, thematically, having the gems stored in here while the guards are on top of it protecting it, that's just a fun aspect as well. There's just a lot of back and forth in this game. Like I said, there's take that, but the game moves really fast, and it does become frantic at times because there's a lot of things happening and gems changing hands quite frequently. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like something of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.